Okay, so I'll just start off in a second, okay?
Have we got a catchy theme song, Jude?
What do we sing a song?
Didn't have anything planned for the first one. Feel free to do anything, really. I don't know. It's very open. So I didn't have. Maybe I'll create something or get something off one of the Creative Commons guys.
Nice.
And put in a little title there for YouTube or something. But yeah, no, I'll put it up on all the various things, and hopefully it'll be up Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, here we go. Let's see. Right. Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first issue of the Retro Renaissance podcast. I fucked it up already. With me here is Brahilia.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. And Monkey Spaz 5000, James. How you doing, James?
Evening. Fine, thank you.
Good. So, it's the very first one. Tom, and I'm Chris Shank. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. Tom, it's professionalism. Tom and me were friends from back in the day. He was in my brother's year at school. So, various talk there about heavy metal, old video games and rap music.
Yes.
To name a few. And Monkey Spaz 5000 is a fellow YouTuber.
Indeed.
And yeah, so basically, this is a podcast, and we're going to be doing this hopefully weekly or maybe semi-weekly. We haven't really got a schedule or anything yet. But hopefully with guests. The 16-bit brothers were interested, but they couldn't get here for the first one, which is a shame.
Boo!
Yeah, boo! The 16-bit brothers, you northern fucking monkeys. And
The way to alienate half of our listeners, Chris.
As opposed to the Scottish monkeys. And yeah, so what have you guys been playing this week?
Who's going first?
Tom, you go first. You're on the top of my screen.
I have been playing the shit out of Final Fantasy VII.
That's right. You've been playing that on the PSN rejig, or are you playing it on original hardware?
I've got the original discs because I'm weird and old and crusty. And yeah, it was great. It's weird playing it again because I haven't really played it through to the end sort of since being a kid, and obviously kind of being 12 years old. You don't really recognise a lot of the, I don't know, I guess RPG tropes.
What the fuck is grinding? Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I think I said to you before, I have no idea how I made it as far as I did when I was 12 because I didn't have a fucking clue about.
You know that the first boss that you face with Barrett as a twosome with the spider type thing with the machine guns, we used to die on that.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh god.
No, I went through it just recently. I got it on the PSN download and was playing through it, and I was like, "Oh, that's easy."
How many discs does it come with again, Tom? Remind me.
It was 3 originally.
Aye, I had it originally.
The Platinum version also had a DVD showing Final Fantasy VIII, didn't it?
Did it really?
Yeah, showing the the cutscene for Final Fantasy VIII. Because I got the Platinum version, and I remember going, "Oh my god, that's so good!" when I saw Final Fantasy VIII.
Can I ask, was it the ballroom scene by any chance?
No, it was the Gunblade fight.
Ah.
There were bits of ballroom scene interlaced there, but yeah, no, it was very, very good. So you finished it now, yeah?
I did, and to be honest with you, I was just kind of astonished at how easy it really is going back to it. I mean, there's a lot of grinding because I'm just a grindaholic now, but I just destroyed it, man. And like after the final battle, I was just kind of like, oh,
is that
it was just sort of done. And then the final cutscenes where it's like, you don't really know whether the meteor's hit, and then it's sorry, spoiler alert. If you haven't finished Final Fantasy VII, then you really need to catch up. Yeah, after the final cutscenes where you kind of see like Red 13 and his like cubs running up the mountain or whatever, and you sort of see the destroyed remains of Midgar, and you sort of go, well, like I guess the meteor hit, and then Advent Children came out, and you sort of thought to yourself, oh god, I wish the meteor had hit.
You weren't a fan of the film?
You know, when it first came out, I absolutely loved it. I watched it about 7 times, like in the first night, I think, when I got it. But
I've never seen the dubbed American/European version, but I have seen the Japanese version with the subs.
you know,
and
I'm sure that makes it a lot easier to sit through.
didn't they have what's his name, Justin Timberlake, be Sephiroth?
Yeah, are you serious?
that was cringeworthy for me, and I'm so glad I haven't watched the Americanized remake.
Oh dear God!
How long did it take you to complete it this time round, Tom?
I think it was about 46 hours in total, and that was after sort of farming like 8 generations of chocobos to get a gold one, just so I could get Knights of the Round and spam Sephiroth's ass at the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a tragedy with that. I was playing it, and my PS3 broke, and so I sent it off to them, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll keep your game saves." They didn't.
Thanks, Sony. Lose my account details and lose my save games as well.
Well, yeah, they didn't bother repairing my PS3. They just gave me a new one.
Ah.
They were just like, yeah, we'll just replace it. I was like that. You're gonna get my save games. Oh yeah, we'll do whatever with it.
I would have demanded a launch 40 gig, so you could play 2 games.
They don't have them. They just have the Slims now, which is a shame.
Yeah, don't like the Slims, but anyway.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's okay. It's sitting there. It's happy. Do you know what? The PS3 in my house gets used for a media server more than anything else.
Aye, that's one thing I used to use it for.
Just sits there and then stream off cartoons and Disney films from a computer to my PS3 for my kids. It's crazy.
Well, that was Ken Kutaragi's dream, the console that does everything.
Yeah, well, it's getting there. So, Monkey Spaz, what have you been playing?
Yes, I have been playing Pikmin for the GameCube.
Oh,
nice.
Good choice.
It's a game I've never ever paid any interest to in the past at all. I don't know, it just somehow completely passed me by. Obviously, I've seen the trailers for the third one coming up for the Wii U, but I got it with the GameCube that I recently bought, and it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
And you've bought a sneaky console today, haven't you?
I have, after about 5 failed attempts of getting outbid left, right and centre on eBay, which was doing my nut in. I got a Master System 2 with a bunch of games to go along with it, which was a reasonable price. So that's my main thing just now, getting as many consoles and systems as I can, and then I'll bash on with games and whatnot.
Nice.
So what games did you get with it?
I will tell you, if you give me a second, sing a song or something. Hold on, mate. I got, obviously it comes in with the built-in Alex kit, which is amazing.
Yeah,
and
very good game.
I know exactly, everybody knows that song. It came with Super Kickoff, Champions of Europe, Wimbledon, never really heard of those 3 games. Well, I've heard of Super Kickoff, Desert Strike, Populous, and Speedball. So, and Alex kit.
Speedball.
Yeah.
Classic.
Bitmap Brothers.
I've never
Classic.
I've played the second one on the Amiga and whatever, but never the first.
Never the first. The first one's good as well. I have these memories of playing Speedball 2, where you were terrible until you could afford from your losses to buy a player, and then you just used to use that player to run rings around everyone.
What did you play it on, out of curiosity?
Amiga.
Aye, same. Classic.
See, I had it on Game Boy.
I think I've seen it actually as well, aye.
Yeah, those sprites are fucking terrible.
You were saying this the other day, Tom. You were a big Amiga guy back in the day, because when we were SNESes and stuff, you had an Amiga.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I started out with Spectrum 48, Spectrum 128, and then went straight to the Amiga 500 and missed out on all the Nintendo, Sega goodness.
Yeah.
But we did get Lotus 3, which was awesome.
Exactly.
Fair enough. And it's one of your recent acquisitions as well, a 600 you got, didn't you, Monkey Spaz?
Yeah, I got a 600. Similar to Tom, I had an Amiga, I think I had an Amiga 500 Plus, and I had an Amiga 600 back in the day, but I recently picked up a 600 with upgraded memory, and a little compact flash card, which you plug in the inside, and it's got 2,000 plus games on it, so it's good.
Cool. Well, I've been playing a variety of games, but really Super Mario 3.
Nice.
This weekend, because I got from my wife for our anniversary, our wedding anniversary is tomorrow. She got me a GBA SP, the NES version.
Yep.
And I got a bootleg because he said, "Oh, you can have the official one for £5, or you can have this bootleg for £3." I was like, "Well, I'm not really collecting for it, so I'll have the bootleg." So yeah, I've been playing that. It's amazing. It's really good. It's the SNES version, so nicer graphics and all that kind of stuff. But just really good fun to play that again. And I can honestly say this, and I've spoke to my dad about this time and time again. Haven't seen a better game since Mario 3. And that's going to piss some people off. But as far as platformers go, it's just phenomenal.
Do you not find it, I agree, it's a good game, but do you not find it very easy? I suppose it depends how you play it, but you go about it, you
man.
all those whistles and whatnot, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's very easy to get to level 8. You can do that within the first 4 levels or whatever, because you get one whistle from World 3 and one from the first little castle, and then you go in to it and then use another one to go on to 8. But that 8th world is insane. Just crazy as far as platformers go. It sets the bar high. Dark World or whatever it's called. Just nuts. Absolutely nuts. And that's why I love it. Because as soon as you get to there, and you can get there within 3 minutes, that is just insane stuff.
See, saying that, I'm sitting here being all cocky saying it's a bit easy. I've not played it for a long time, so that's the case.
It's an easy game to play through, and you know, you could get like 70 lives by the time you get to World 8 if you did it properly all the way through.
Aye.
But yeah, World 8 is it'll just rape you. It's just the nastiest platforming experience I've ever had. I mean, the guys who did Super Meat Boy, said that they based a lot of their stuff off of the difficulty of World 8 on Mario 3.
No shit.
I'm gonna have to check it out again. Seriously, if it's that bad.
Yeah. I'd tell you, level 8, World 8, sorry, Dark World or whatever, and then you go onto the map and you can't see the map, so you got this little spotlight around Mario when you're going around and stuff. Oh man, it's just killer.
Hardcore.
It's always that interesting thing to go back to when you kind of play a game that you used to play like as a kid and you used to totally kill it back in the day. You go back now and you literally can't get past the first stage. I kind of had that with like Mega Man 2. I'm just like, oh fucking, I can't even get past Woodman for fuck's sake.
You know, you say that, but the infamous one is Turtles on the NES, which I had as a kid. And that second world, once you get past all, it's not an easy game to play the normal platforming stages, but people always used to get pissed off with the dam. I trounced through it first time, no problem, when I was playing it the other day. Not an issue at all. So I don't remember if that was because of one reason or another, but I just absolutely went through it. But then I could never get past the third world anyway, and I still can't, so it's irrelevant.
See, I like all sane people died with the electric tentacles repeatedly.
Yeah, because you have to really fucking mash the buttons to get them to go up. And they've only got a certain amount of stamina, although there's no bar or anything like there would be in a modern game. With stamina, they've only got so much stamina before they go down and run out, so you have to really like hammer it to get across.
Those fucking turtles.
But yeah.
It's bizarre. There's so many games that I've picked up recently that I used to think were a piece of, do you know what I mean, a doddle when I was a kid, but nowadays they just kick my butt. It's impossible. It's whether you get your reflexes get slower or you just get rubbish the older you get. Who knows?
Shooters, I am god awful at nowadays. I'm trying to get better again, but any shoot 'em up, I just get rinsed.
Yeah.
Especially those hell shooters, you know, where you've got 5 million bullets on the screen at once and you've got to do an intricate pattern to move out the way.
Exactly.
Simultaneously shooting and collecting power-ups and throwing off special bombs in that. I was just like, forget that. Which is why I loved, we were talking about Commodore 64 earlier, Monkey Spaz.
Yeah.
And Bulldog on that, to me, is perfect as far as a shooter goes.
See, I've never heard of it. Probably one of the shooters, it's Slap Fight. I played that on the C64
Oh yeah.
arcade game. That's decent, but I've never heard of Bulldog.
Yeah, no, Bulldog was, my uncle showed me it, and I just thought it was fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So, that's what we've all been playing. Tom, did you have any good pickups this week? That's what I meant to ask.
This week, not physical media, but I did get some games off the virtual console for 3DS, which is pretty cool. In fact, I got a shit ton. What did I get? I picked up Gradius, Ninja Gaiden 1, Legend of Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening, the color version, which is just fucking, I think that might be my favourite Zelda.
Cool. Aye.
Just throwing it out there.
I agree.
It's just such a good game. It's just completely like I know Majora's Mask does a lot as well to sort of break the standard Zelda tradition, and that's probably my second favourite Zelda game. But it's just nice to not be fucking fighting Ganon for once, and you're just kind of going through this world collecting instruments to wake up the windfish, and it's a good game. So it's over all too quickly though. That's the problem.
I had probably my best pickups ever this weekend. I got, as well as the Game Boy SP, I got a GameCube and an original Xbox, which I've been ganting on for ages, which I traded in with somebody else, not a YouTuber, but somebody on a local site. And I traded in, now this is going to make some people scream, for 5 GameCube games, the GameCube 2 pads, my NES with 1 pad, 1 light gun, and Mission Impossible. The reason being, and I said this in a video on one of my weekend wobblers the other day, I just don't enjoy it much anymore. I know I was just banging on about Turtles and Mario 3,
Yeah.
but I can play all the NES games now on the GBA, so I'm just not that bothered by it.
Will you only have something? Sorry.
Sorry, you first, man.
Will you only have something if you play it? Like I've got an NES and it's in good condition. I don't think I could get rid of it, even if I never touched it again.
But it's not that as well. I mean, I've got limited space as well, so I've got about 3 consoles set up at any time. So I've got the PS2, the GameCube, and the original Xbox set up. I've got the PS3 and the Xbox 360 on different tellies, but on my main desk here, where I'm doing this from. And I don't know, I just thought about it, and I thought, I'm just not going to play it, I'm just not going to get it out. I don't want to collect for it, and collecting's quite a big thing for me at the minute, so I thought, well, I'll swap that out. So I got a good deal on it for the 5 games as well. I thought, well, it's not bad, all things considered. And it did have the digital out AV cables with it as well, with the RGB instead of just the SCART, so I was quite chuffed with that.
Nice.
All right.
And the original Xbox I got with about 12 games, and I swapped for the Amiga 500, 500 Plus that I had, with a bunch of bootleg software. I think I've actually sent you most of the decent software on there, actually, Monkey Spaz.
I look forward to it.
So, yeah. all the non-bootleg stuff, because I thought, well, there's no point in sending bootleg stuff if he's got that little card reader.
Ah, exactly.
And so yeah, I did that, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I needed an original Xbox, and I want to focus on consoles. And I've been picking up games for these 2. And then yesterday, I picked up a disk drive for the Atari computers. So before the 2600, they brought out computers.
Before the 2600?
Before the 2600. So this disk drive came out in 1984.
Ah.
So the year of my birth.
Nice.
And I picked it up for £1.50. And the person who had it didn't have a clue what they had or whatever, because it's worth a fair amount of cash.
So is this from like the XE or something like that, or like an Atari 800 or something?
Yeah. Well, it's compatible with the 200, 400, 800.
Ah, nice.
And it just plugs into the back. It's as big as a fat PS2. And it's just a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive that goes in separately. Picked it up for £1.50 from the car boot and put it up on a local group on Facebook. Oh, is anybody interested in this? And the guy who swapped me with the GameCube and the Xbox traded me in 5 or 6 decent games. So I think it was Metroid Prime on the GameCube, What was it on the PS? Oh yeah, Fade to Black on the PS1. So I have a lot of nostalgia over that game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Spiritual successor to not was after Another World Break. Flashback.
Flashback.
So yeah, it's like a 3D third-person version of that.
Cool.
So yeah, very chuffed to get that. And then State of Emergency 2 and Fantastic Four for the PS2, just because I didn't have them. So for £1.50, I got all of that stuff because I never paid for the Amiga. I got that off a free cycle from someone who was giving it away. And the NES a friend donated to me. So, yeah,
Bonus.
I was quite chuffed. Not a bad little haul.
Not at all, man.
So yeah, and I picked up loads of games, mostly PS2 and Xbox, and I got a Mega Drive stack of games, 7 games or something the other day, the car boot as well. So yeah, chuffed to bits, 50 games this weekend and all that stuff. So yeah, really got to start playing that. So I've got 3 games to play tonight, which is Super Monkey Ball on the GameCube, which I wanted to do a video of, just because it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Red Dead Revolver, the predecessor to Red Dead Redemption on the original Xbox.
See, I never played this. I'd be curious to know what that's like.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video of that. Yeah, definitely. And then Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the Xbox, which is a hack and slash set in the Baldur's Gate realm.
Cool.
Which Ryan Sham picked up recently. I've played Dark Alliance 1 and 2, and also there was one called Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, which is in a similar vein, very Diablo-esque dungeon crawler.
Is that the one where you can do like the 4-way multiplayer?
Exactly that, my friend, exactly that.
Nice.
So, yep, looking forward to that. But I think Red Dead Revolver came out right at the end of Xbox, because it looks really good graphics-wise, almost as good as Red Dead Redemption.
Is it similar? I've never heard of it before. Is it similar sort of style of game to Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, open world. You've got Dead-Eye Zone when you're in gunfights. You can experience the Untamed West on foot, stagecoaches, horseback, and trains. Dual opponents, intense showdowns, witness the beauty of the frontier, your quest for revenge.
Cool. So it'd be quite,
yeah,
I'll be up for checking that out. I mean, I spent most of my time playing Red Dead Redemption trying to get my horse stuck out of a fucking rock.
I had that issue every time.
Yeah, it's buggy as all hell, wasn't it? I remember that, actually. Did you ever get 100% on Red Dead Redemption?
Do you know what? I got to the end of the game and, like, I like the ending now, but at the time I was so gutted. All that work, all that effort, just to get kind of screwed over, and you know, looking back on it in hindsight, it's like, it's kind of like, you know, it's like all westerns, you know, there's no kind of
there's no happy ending.
No, not really. So I understand it now symbolically, but at the time I was fucking pissed. I just took the disc out, said fuck you, and never put it back.
Launched it across the room.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that's what we've been playing and what we picked up this week. So, first topic, HD remakes, are they good or bad? Now, this is really coming off the back of the DuckTales notice. So DuckTales is getting a HD remake, and it looks amazing. But there have been some really, really bad HD remakes as well. So what are your guys' experiences with HD remakes? Let's go with Monkey Spaz first.
I don't agree with it. It's not something I believe in. I don't know. It's like, it's something that I think if they want to take an original game and create a slightly different version of the game, or do you know what I mean, another game in the series, but now from an old sort of retro game, then good. But doing a remake of it, no. I think they've got a potential to completely screw over a game and ruin the nice memories of it. Is my opinion on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing about DuckTales is, on the original NES, that it was such a fantastic game, wasn't it? You know, and it did such a good job on the music front as well, with the limited sound chip in the NES. So they have done it justice, I think, from what I've seen. But I wonder if it's going to destroy the original a little bit for people.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a couple of clips now. It does look good, but I don't know. I'll hold out on it until I actually have a play on it. But I don't know. I'm still out on the remake side of things, I think.
How did you feel when? Did you have Super Mario All Stars on the SNES?
Yes, I did.
And how did you feel about that versus playing the Mario games on the NES?
See, I know what you're getting at now. No, they were same games, better looking, and they played just the same, basically.
Yeah.
So I suppose from that point of view, there's the potential for, do you know what I mean, HD remakes.
But that's only one generation, so the games are still very fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
Whereas this is sort of 4 or 5 generations later. Is it destroying part of your childhood?
Yeah, exactly. I'll hold out on this until I actually see it, but I don't know. That's my opinion.
What do you reckon, Tom?
Well, as much as I agree with what Monkey Spaz says, I sort of think on the flip side to it, it can be quite nice when you've kind of got, say, hardware that's sort of hard to acquire these days, or it's kind of dead, or sort of games with like a ridiculous price tag on them. Say if like PSN tomorrow like released Panzer Dragoon Saga in like a nice, like easy to unwrap shell, and it was like $7.99. I mean, I'd fucking buy it, but. Yeah. I do understand what you're saying with regard to, how easy it is to get it wrong.
That's the other thing, see, and I noticed this, when Final Fantasy VII came out on the PSN for £7, suddenly the price of Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1 dropped. Now, with DuckTales, does that mean that DuckTales on the NES is going to drop in price?
Well, I got my copy for like $2 from eBay, man. So
that's alright. I don't know. It could have the opposite effect. It might shoot up because it'll spark people's interest in what the original game was. Do you know what I mean?
But there was an article in one of the dirt rags this weekend, the Sun or the Star, where this journalist who doesn't know a thing about video games was talking about a woman in America who went into a charity shop, Goodwill or whatever, picked up a version of Stadium Events for $4.
You're kidding me.
No, it's absolutely true. And sold it off on eBay for thousands. So then he said at the end of the article, so always hold on to your stuff and don't sell it off cheap, look it up. And I was like, oh, great.
Always hold on to your Stadium Events.
Yeah. So, I wonder if now you're going to, with more and more things like this, you're going to see more of an interest in retro.
Yeah.
For the wrong reasons.
Yes, exactly.
From a reseller point of view.
Exactly.
Which wouldn't be good, I don't think. I don't know, I see it as quite a niche thing. I'm quite protective over it. That's my childhood. You can't play with that. You're not Rolf Harris. No, sorry. Too soon. Now then.
So I do agree with you, definitely. But then at the same time, we're all grown man children and we want our childhoods back.
Yeah. What does your missus think of your video game collection, Monkey Spaz?
It's something that I wanted to do for a while, start to collect again over the years. I've picked up an odd system and then sold it on for a wee bit more money, picked it up, sold it on or whatever. But she's quite encouraging actually. She's constantly on eBay saying, do you want an Atari 2600? Do you want a Dreamcast? How much would you pay for this? And tell me what's there, whatever. So she's I don't know, getting into it as well. She's not interested in it as such, but she's do you know what I mean? She bought me a Mega Drive 2 last week, for example. So she's encouraging it for one reason or another. I'm a bit suspicious, but she is encouraging it. Maybe I think she wants something, but that might come up at some point.
What about your partner, Tom?
Something along the lines of, why do you have to have 3 Dreamcast, 2 Master Systems, and 3 Famicoms?
And a Wonder Swan. What the fuck's a Wonder Swan?
Yeah. Yeah. with the Digimon attachment.
Why do you need this console that burns your retinas?
Hey, you leave my Virtual Boy alone.
I got my wife's quite good with it actually. I have to say, she bought me the SP this weekend.
Yeah.
And she's always looking out on Free Cycle for anybody who doesn't want their old stuff. So I got the Amiga because of Laura, which in turn today has got me the Xbox.
Yep.
So yeah, very lucky there. But yeah, no, it's good that they encourage art in a man-child.
We're just big kids at the end of the day.
You just don't what?
Have a leg to stand on.
No, she doesn't have a leg to stand on, she's told me, because she collects chickens, which are...
Chickens?
Yeah. We have a room, when the garage gets done, the chicken room, this is no joke, we have a chicken room, it's becoming my game room.
Like, not real chickens, though, eh?
Is this going to turn
real
into,
chickens.
Is this going to turn into some kind of like integratory like chicken retro gaming podcast or something?
We have how many chickens do you have in total, honey? Around the 40 mark.
Yeah, around 40.
Around the 40 mark.
Wow.
Chickens.
Nice.
And how many are in the breeding room? 12? 15.
I thought you were shitting me, so real life chickens.
Yeah, she keeps cockerels, and then each cockerel has 3 or 4 hens to shag.
Nice.
One of them's got 12. Imagine that, 12 wives. They then create fertilized eggs. The fertilized eggs, she puts in a what do you call it? Incubator, sorry. And then hatches them. So we've got one hatching at the minute.
Cool.
And then outside we have the egg hens, as we call it. So we get about 12 eggs a day.
I hear if you breed a wonderful one and a black one, you'll get a gold one. And then you can, and then you can go to round. I'm sorry, I haven't slept in like 46 hours.
You brought that topic, so.
Sorry, that was a bit off tangent. But yeah, so she collects all that. She's got duck eggs on the go at the minute and all the rest of it, so she hasn't got a leg to stand on with me collecting retro video games. And my hobby is a lot cheaper than hers.
This is the Poultry Podcast.
The Poultry Podcast, yeah.
Farmers Weekly.
Farmers Weekly.
Or
But no, just like I want to go to Play Expo or whatever, she goes to like chicken shows.
Oh.
So yeah, it's all there. Moving swiftly on. So HD remakes, we don't really have a consensus. I'm gonna stick in the middle, and I think that we're all more or less kind of mixed views depending on which remake it is. Here's one for you, because you've just played it through. If they remade HD Final Fantasy VII, Tom, which they've been on about for fucking ages, and there's even clips of like the first little Midgar scene done.
Ooh.
How would you feel?
to be honest with you, like 3-4 years ago, I'd have said like, fuck yeah, like I'd have screamed for it. But I just think that ship has sailed now. And when you look at a lot of the, you know, you look at a lot of it's the mechanics and stuff that they'd have to sort of change. A lot of the localization is just poor in places. Like the story doesn't make sense, and then there's the whole Mr. T problem. I don't know how they're going to do Barrett tastefully. I don't know. I think there's a lot of factors.
How so if they did a final, I've always wanted a Final Fantasy VII 2, and not just some shitty spin-off on the PSP. Is that right? Did they do one with Vincent?
Well, there was Crisis Core, which was kind of like a prequel, and then there was Dirge of Cerberus, which was just a steaming pile of goat shit.
Yeah. So, what I'd like is a true sequel to Final Fantasy VII with the characters.
You can always play
modern version, though.
Yeah, modern hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Or just a decent Final Fantasy game, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I played is it 13 or 14 with I think it's 13 with a 12 level tutorial, 12 chapter tutorial, and then 2 actual chapters where you could do stuff and it was free roaming.
Yeah, the 44-hour corridor.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, see, I never got past the corridor sections. I gave up well before then.
Yeah, well, I stuck it out, and I wish I hadn't. It was Jesus,
It's
not
awful.
nice. Yeah, no, it was. It really was. Okay, so next gen consoles. Obviously, at the minute we have the Wii U that's just come out. I don't know if side grade. I suppose I'd liken it to the 32X to what the Mega Drive was. But
Them's fighting words.
yeah, well, of the same, not the same quality, but it's not really an upgrade to the Wii. Technically,
No.
it might be, but it's the similar sort of thing. You're going up a generation, but are you really? Meh. So PS4 Christmas, probably Xbox, whatever, 720.
Yep.
So retarded.
Yeah. Always on, hooray!
Yeah, I'm sure. Having to pay.
That guy's fired, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The guy, he said, "Oh, I can't believe that people are moaning about Always On. Isn't that the world we live in?" No, it's not. And he got fired as a result for saying that. Anyway, so are you guys going to buy in on day one, or are you going to wait, or are you going to what's your feelings on it?
I'm going to wait. The reason being is I bought in day one with the Wii U, and that was a monumental mistake, basically.
Have you got a Wii U, have you? I didn't know that.
No, you see, I did have, and then I started hearing stories about developers not being interested, developers dropping out, releases being delayed, nothing coming out from Nintendo for God knows how long, so I punted it for as much money as I
You
could.
should have held on to it. Earthbound is coming.
I think you've got one, Tom.
No, I want one just for Earthbound.
So I'm severely interested. Probably more so on the PS4 this time round. It seems to have sparked a bit more interest. Obviously, there's not anything concrete with the Xbox 7000 and whatever it's called.
Yeah, I just got so fucked off with the Xbox 360 because I'm on my fourth Xbox console now, Xbox 360 console, because of Red Ring of Death and all the rest of it. And I don't play it for extended periods of time in case it heats up and melts.
Did you try the soundtrack?
Yeah, Jesus.
Did you say the towel trick? Is that what you
Yeah.
Yeah, I done that with one.
Oh, really? I tried the penny trick with the X clamps.
Penny trick, yeah.
Yeah.
Tried the penny trick. But yeah, I mean, so Microsoft, as far as I'm concerned, is you can forget it. And I hate paying for. I'm not going to pay for Xbox Gold either, for Live Gold or whatever, because that's just crap.
There's rumours PlayStation Network might be doing the same, is there not? Making it subscription based as opposed to free.
I hear they're basically trying to make PlayStation 4 like a Netflix service.
Right.
So similar to how PSN Plus is at the moment.
Yeah, you kind of, the way I've heard it, I mean, I could be butchering this completely, but you're kind of just going to be buying into a subscription service, and you'll have a full library of games, but it just kind of seems so nebulous, because I mean, can you imagine you're going to be able to jump on this thing and stream play Final Fantasy 12 or something for 40 to 50 hours, while several other million people are trying to stream games from these same servers. I just don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, it's basically on live, isn't it? Or am I right in thinking similar sort of thing?
Yeah, it's just assuming that everyone has these great 50 to 100 meg internet connections.
Exactly.
I think they're going to cut off a large section of their audience. They do that with rural communities, even in America. Rural communities, they just don't have the super fast bandwidth. I mean, we as a country created the World Wide Web, and yet we have some of the worst speeds around, but we're also some of the biggest consumers per capita of video games. So, don't know.
Yeah, they need to get it sorted. I'll be moving to the sticks in the next couple of months, and I know for a fact my internet connection is going to be piss poor. So, they can't go with streaming or anything like that. Or even if they went digital only, that would maybe even knacker me a bit as well, being slow internet connection. I spend 3 days just trying to download a game.
Jesus. Because I know right now I'm in a city, but I have a basic Virgin Surface, And it was 4 hours to upload a video to YouTube
Yeah.
for 20 minutes the other day. I was like that. Well, I'll leave that on overnight then.
That's what I'd just leave it on overnight.
So yeah,
I just don't really understand how it's going to work in terms of like, I mean, what retailers going to do? I mean, a game just going to survive by selling fucking like Mario plushies for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
well, funnily enough,
Aye.
GameStop make a lot of their money now by selling iPhones and stuff like that. In America, they've moved into the cell phone market and stuff because the gaming market is so dire over there as far as retail's concerned.
Wow.
See, we could. I've thought this, but I don't know if we could possibly be on the verge of another console crash or some sort. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? The way things are going, but
Well, I think that the next generation of consoles is going to be the last major generation, and between this Christmas and the next 5 years, you're going to see a huge move over to the casual market, to tablets, and then from then on, you're going to see one major console a year, depending on who it is, Sony or Xbox. But I don't think there'll be more than room for one console a year. Yeah, I know.
Sounds like
it's a big
bleak.
one, isn't it? No, it's just the way it is, you know. I've got a tablet which I picked up for £50, an Android tablet that runs Ice Cream Sandwich. And it's only Wi-Fi, it doesn't have 3G or Bluetooth or any of that business, but you can put a PlayStation 3 pad in it on the USB, and you can play Shadowgun Dead Zone on it, which is the equivalent of a PS2 game, for a £50 console.
yeah, I suppose if they release something like that on a yearly basis, do you know what I mean? The specs would be pretty decent, I suppose.
If you've got this throwaway hardware for the cost of less than a Game Boy or a DS or whatever, and it's got a HDMI port on, so you just plug it into the back of your TV, sit there with a Bluetooth controller. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit scary, and I know Steve Benway talked a lot about this, and he now has an Android channel because he believes the same as me that that's the way it's going. And if you look at the graphics on some of the games coming out now, they are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Are really, really good quality stuff. PS2 bordering PS3, so bordering current gen. I don't doubt that within the next year it's going to be up to current gen standards. So yeah, and I mean that market's always been huge with the DS and the Game Boy and stuff like that, and Nintendo have raped it for years. So yeah, I just really do think it's going to go the way of the tablet or the way of the smartphone.
I hope it doesn't, but
yeah, no, I'm completely with you. I hope it doesn't, but
It would take a really great piece of software to get me to buy the next console, because for pretty much everything since like the PlayStation 1, before I even thought about collecting, where I guess I was just a casual gamer of the time, as you were when sort of PlayStation and N64s were around, like, I thought I'm never going to buy a PlayStation 2. Like, I could just never see myself getting one. Then I think it would have been a game like San Andreas or something. I saw it and it was like, I've got to get this thing. And then the 360 came along and it was like, I think I played like Perfect Dark or something like that, and I just wasn't impressed. I was like, oh, I'm never going to bother with this thing. Then like Oblivion came out or something, and it was like, okay, I've got to get one. And then the PlayStation 3 comes along, and it's like, okay, now this is expensive. What is that price tag? Like $799, $599, whatever the hell it was. There was no way I was going to get one. And then Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I don't know. Maybe like the next, it's the next Fallout or something.
Here's the thing, though. Us three are not that target market.
It's true.
It's every other person that they're after. And the casual market, people who play Angry Birds or play a game of Zen Pinball or whatever on their tablet quickly, in between surfing the web and checking Facebook, that's the market that these guys are after. And I think that's why it's going to go that way.
It's wherever they can get money, obviously. I think it's bad. I want traditional consoles to stay, and I hope they do. But we'll see.
But here's the other point. It's £3 for a game on Android most of the time, and that includes EA games on Android, by the way, are £5.
Yeah.
An EA game
is that the £2 EA tax?
Yeah. that allows us to rape you in the ass. No, then,
Thanks, Trip Hawkins.
but then you look at an EA game for a PS3 and it's 30-40 quid every year, and it's the same title every year.
Yeah.
With Android, who cares if you? Oh yeah, I'll put a $5 on there. Yeah, it's not a problem.
It's true.
What about the Ouya then?
What about what?
The Ouya.
Mm,
Do you know
that's the Ouya's the little Android console, isn't
Yeah.
it? That you just plug in.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a Steam box sort of idea?
Yeah, exactly that.
Ah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Whether it will take off, I'm not sure. There are a couple of those floating around on Kickstarter at the minute, which look very promising. Yeah.
See, that's what leads me to think a console crash is the reason. Obviously, well, many reasons, but there's so many different consoles, so many poor games coming out for them back in the day, and that's what sort of sprung a console crash. But to me, it seems the same thing's happening now. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's releasing something, trying to get in on the action. It's just the market's going to be flooded, I think, with one thing or another.
It's true.
If you look at the PS2 release, nearly 4,000 games across all regions.
Yeah.
Down to PS3 where they focused on quality a bit more, and now down to this current generation where they've said, okay, we have to use PC hardware to make it easier for developers now, because developers don't care, because they say, all right, that's fine, we'll release it on Android or iOS or Xbox 720 because we know that they all use PC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There'll never be like another, sort of when the PS2 were out, there'll never be kind of another time like that where developers could just kind of say, fuck it, and just sort of try these really outlandish things. It's just sort of too expensive to do that now, and it's only going to get more expensive with this kind of switch to new chipsets and processors.
I agree.
And stuff.
Moore's law states that the chips increase, they double in speed every 6 months, and at the minute it's slightly surpassing that. So yeah, you're gonna. I really do think it's gonna go the way of the dodo, sadly. But I do think it will have a renaissance period. Ha ha ha.
Oh yeah.
And
I saw what you did there.
And I think after this PS4 generation, it'll go down to one console, and then I think maybe in 20 years' time you'll see it come back into the market where people want an all-in-one system.
In 20 years, finally the Phantom will be released.
Yeah, exactly that.
They'll team up with Gizmondo and no, sorry, carry on.
IGN will release something and kill us all. So yeah, I guess that's the way I think. But for me, next gen consoles, I'm gonna stay away for the first year, at least. I'd imagine.
What if they release a killer app at launch? Will you still stay away, or will you be tempted?
Does that even happen anymore?
Nah, there's I don't know. There's talks about it because obviously there's all these studios for Microsoft and Sony that.
The problem I have there is that all the launch titles are coming out on the PS3 as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
That kind of transitional period between Xbox and 360 where you'd get like two versions.
Yeah.
And, oh god.
But they're not different. Like back in the day, you used to get a Master System version and a Mega Drive version, and they were actually different versions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen now, does it? You have one version, it's the same across all games. I think it was Soul Calibur 4, where they brought out three versions, one for the Wii, one for the Xbox, one for the PS2. The difference was on the Wii you could play as Link, and on the Xbox you could play as the Predator or something like that, or Master Chief.
Oh yeah, was that the GameCube version? Was it GameCube or Wii?
The Wii you could play as Link.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I thought, well, that's nothing. Do you know what I mean? That is something that if this game was open source, if this game was on Android, someone could go in and do within half a day. Do you know what I mean? And they could add that on as an open source add-on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna wait around a bit. I'm trying to think of the game. It's not Sleeping Dogs, but it's something like dogs, something with dogs in it that's coming out on the PS4 at launch.
Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
Watch Dogs, yeah. It's also coming out on the PS3, so if I really want to play it, I'll get it on the PS3. It does look great, but if it's not an exclusive game, it's kind of pointless.
Exactly, unless they only do PS4, it's not going to really help the case. It's not going to make people jump on board, is it? If they still get it for the PS3 without spending any additional money on hardware. The
big games that have always come out, that have always helped draw PlayStation, is always Gran Turismo, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see when GT6 comes out, if that really helps push the PS4.
It'd be interesting to see the next E3 and if they can repeat the glory of the PS3's launch.
Yeah, I mean...
Ridge Racer!
for a while, of course, even E3 went down the pan, didn't it?
It did. You know? It did.
These other packs and all the rest of it from a fucking webcomic sprung up.
Yeah, you had like the Penny Arcade Expo and like, well, I guess CG is different, but...
Yeah. But yeah, no, it will be interesting to see, but I'm definitely going to hold off this year. And what I'll probably end up doing is my phone contract ends next February. So if I can get a PS4 on that, I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's how I got the current PS3.
There's such a shady looking deal when you walk past like a Carphone warehouse and just see that.
That's who it was from, Carphone Warehouse, but it was from their internet people. And they cocked up the package I was on and all that, and Vodafone had to sort it out about it. I got the PS3.
Make sure you slag them off. We don't want to shit for those fuckers.
But yeah, no, that's what I'll do.
Nice.
If it's possible, and if not, I'll get a Wii U.
Then it might be the time to get a Wii U. I might still jump back on board if they brought out a Zelda, not the Zelda HD remake, but a proper Zelda game, and it could tempt me.
Well, that brings me on to our next point.
Oh, segue.
Zelda: Link to the Past 2 is coming out.
Yes.
Oh. No, sorry. I mean, I'm hoping they don't fuck this up.
What an amazing game, first of all. Link to the Past on the SNES.
Yep, classic.
Best Zelda game so far. And I know people are going to say Majora's Mask and all the rest of it. I don't care. To me...
It's kind of the one that every single Zelda game's been built off of since, really.
Yeah. And the style. That style has been copied and done to death over and over again by a million developers. So it's right. And I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
It looks good. I've seen some videos of it. It looks a hell of a lot more faster paced. Link sort of runs about the place as opposed to slowly walking, if you like. But it looks good.
Yeah, because you had in Link to the Past, you got to get the boots to run around, didn't you?
You could sort of shuffle on the spot and then shoot across the screen.
The dash boots.
That's it.
Dash boots, yeah. Now, what was the other stuff that's coming out, Tom? You'll have to remind me that Nintendo announced, apart from the big Earthbound thing.
Well, yeah, from what I've seen, those were kind of the big three, and it was just really surprising. Like, it's just not something you'd expect to wake up and see Nintendo doing, because they just seem to consistently just miss the mark with the stuff they release. Like, they just, I don't know.
This on previous franchises.
Yeah, they just kind of seem to be bringing out stuff that, I mean, just me personally, I can't speak for everybody, it's just, I don't really give a shit about. And then I wake up and see that they're bringing out a sequel to Link to the Past, potentially Majora's Mask getting the 3D remake treatment like Ocarina of Time did on the 3DS, and Earthbound for Wii U. It's just like, I mean, they've been screaming at Nintendo for years to release Earthbound, like on the Virtual Console, and they never did it. It's just kind of been sitting in the vault, and now they've done it. I'm not sure.
So, back to the previous point, Earthbound at the minute's $300 for a cart on eBay.
Oh,
easily.
Really?
I've heard the box goes for $100.
Yeah, exactly. So, what happens now with when that comes out on the Wii U?
I don't know, because you still always play it on emulators, couldn't you, on your computer?
Yeah.
It's a dirty word.
I don't know, because, you know, I plan to get my Xbox chipped so I can play MAME on it.
Yeah.
it's there's a guy that does it for 10 quid. You give him the hard drive on your Xbox, he'll bring it back round in 8 hours with everything on there, and you give him 10 quid.
Oh, cool. You want to say his name on the podcast? Sorry. No, sorry.
I'll link. He's on. There's a Facebook group called Game Trader. So if you go onto Game Trader and ask for people to mod Xboxes, he'll do it.
Has he got like an eye patch and like a hook hand and stuff, or?
No, but he does have a peg leg. No.
Sorry, total fucking derailment. Carry on.
So I just had a look on eBay just now. Earthbound, US, £1,000.
Yeah. Boxed.
Yeah.
Is that buy now?
But that's mental.
There's a big boom in Super Nintendo stuff at the moment, actually.
There is. I noticed prices are quite sort of steep.
I saw I saw in a forum the other day, like, people just like, oh, I've got like Castlevania 4 for like $50 or something. And it's like, I paid like 15 quid for that in a game station like a year ago or something, and they're acting like they've got a good deal for a loose cart, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I went at the car boot yesterday. The car boot, someone was offering a SNES for 60 quid.
Whoa.
Sean? Or
Yeah, on its own.
But with no cables, just a SNES.
Boxed. Oh, nice. Granted.
I had one recently. It was unboxed, but I think he wanted 50 quid for it. I just laughed at him and walked away. But aye.
But he was a reseller. He always jacks up his prices and stuff. But still, guy down the way, Matt, who I got my SP off and a few other bits, had a box linked to the past for 35 quid.
Whoa.
Which is a good deal.
Was what the PAL, like a PAL cart?
PAL, yeah, PAL linked to the past.
Yeah.
35 quid. Good deal. Now,
that cost me 35 quid just for the cart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you got the cart?
I've got the cart, aye.
Okay. So, these Nintendo releases, I think, are big deals. The funny thing about Earthbound is, of course, it gets loads of money because people think it's rare. It's really not. It's a word of mouth thing, I think. And the game, although it's a good game, it's not a great game. It's not as good as Link to the Past, I don't think. So, yeah, I'm a bit surprised. I'm not sure why it goes for that. I think it's just one of these hysteria things where people keep their copy because it is a good game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It wasn't a PAL release, was it? Am I right?
No, it wasn't a PAL release. So over here it's even rarer, but yeah. US and Japan, I believe. Is that right, Tom?
I believe so, yes.
Came off the back of... and you can get... There's a guy who does reproduction carts on the NES.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some of them, aye.
Earthbound Zero.
Yes.
Which is quite good. And it's... In Japan, it translates to Mother. Is that correct? So the Earthbound is Mother 3 or Mother 2?
Mother 2 is, aye.
Mother 2,
Yeah.
and then there's Mother 1. So, the Earthbound remake on... Is it a remake or a sequel, sorry?
I believe it's... I think I'm guessing they're just releasing the original, Super Nintendo ROM with the fan translation.
Okay. So that is still Mother 2.
Yeah.
And then you can guarantee Mother 3 or Earthbound 2 will be out in the next...
Ooh.
In the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah. I mean, they can release this ROM at any time they've wanted to in the last 5 years on the Wii.
That's assuming that Mother 3 or Earthbound 2 is translated.
Yeah, well, who knows? I think the audience in America particularly is too big to ignore for them.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know, maybe this is a sign that they are kind of starting to wake up a little bit and actually...
Getting their shit together.
Yeah.
Well, listen, people have been saying it for ages, that the Wii was the Saturn and the Wii used the Dreamcast, then it's going the way of Sega.
Yeah.
No, and nobody wants that from Nintendo, because everybody loves Nintendo, so I'm really hoping it's not, but it could be.
Yeah, I've always wanted to visit one of their love hotels in Japan.
What are their what?
That sounded a bit dodgy, or what?
Come on, explain yourself there, Tom.
It's Nintendo president, is it Yamauchi? The is it Yamauchi? I'm not sure. The crazy bastard.
Miyamoto?
No, that's the Mario guy. The actual president of Nintendo. I think it's Yamauchi.
Okay.
The crazy, ruthless tyrant.
Yeah.
Kind of like tried to make his fortune in like I think it was like adult hotels where you could go stay. They were love hotels, but they were actually owned by Nintendo.
What?
Someone comes in dressed as Princess Peach for you.
Maybe, I don't know.
You've got to wear a Mario cap. Oh dear.
Yeah, and there's fairies and stuff. Actually, no.
Jesus. Listen. That's terrible, isn't it? Jesus. Okay. So, well, it'll be interesting. Right. Next topic. What is retro? So I was thinking about this a lot lately.
Alf?
Well, Alf is retro.
Pogs?
Pogs are retro. In terms of gaming, what generation do you describe as retro? Is it something that isn't current gen, or is it something that has a certain amount of years? Is it when games go down to a price and then start to increase, as the PS2 and Xbox, and particularly the GameCube, have started to do recently? So is the GameCube retro, but is the PS2 not? How do you guys define what's retro in gaming?
Short answer, 5 years, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough one to answer, really.
But 5 years, does that include the PS2, because they've only just stopped manufacturing them this year, in the last year?
Well, I guess it's 10 years old now. Hello. Sorry. Totally sidetracked. So I don't know. It's a tough one to answer, because I mean it means different things to different people, doesn't it? Because you've got like a kind of new generation of people now who, like, I don't know, their first memories of playing any kind of games console was like GameCube or like Dreamcast, and
that's right. I mean, there's a 19-year-old guy, and even younger. There's a guy called, I don't know if you've seen him, Monkey Spaz, Just James YT.
No.
He does a lot of stuff, and he can't be older than 16, 17, you know, buying retro consoles with his pocket money or his paper round money or part-time job money or whatever, which is probably, funnily enough, more disposable income than I have. And he's really into it, really into it. So yeah, you're completely right. The first console stuff he would have been playing would have been GameCube, PS2, Xbox. So it's quite interesting. For me, I don't think that the previous generation, so PS2, GameCube, Xbox, is quite there yet. I think at Christmas, then you could consider it. Yeah. What do you reckon?
I basically agree with you, Chris. PS2, Xbox, GameCube, although I've got a GameCube as such, I wouldn't class it as retro. I think it's it's not not enough time has passed, I think, is if I can get my words out of my mouth.
And your wife out your ear. Yeah, it's an interesting one that gets brought up every now and then that I see people doing videos on. And to me, I think in the next year they'll become retro, but not right now.
A flip side on it then is we all collect or whatnot. Is there a cut off time where something's too old? Do you know what I mean? The reason I ask is I got the Spectrum recently, and one of my mates was laughing at me saying that's too old. What are you doing that for? That's not retro. That's past retro.
Are you still friends with that guy?
I stopped some nice words.
I wouldn't collect the Generation 1 stuff unless it was dirt cheap. It would have to be super dirt cheap because I just don't enjoy it. Generation 2 or second generational stuff, I would, so the 2600 and all that kind of stuff, I would quite happily collect. And then Generation 3 is obviously the NES, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess like Pong, for example, unless it was there, I wouldn't collect that. Unless it was cheap or free, I wouldn't take it on. There is a point with me where I will start to. look at it. The Atari 2600 is one that I want in my collection, just because it's so iconic.
Yeah, I put a video up recently saying I wouldn't collect, but I've caught myself the past few days looking at them online. It's something obviously I had as a kid, so but the Atari 2600 was as far back as I'd go, obviously because that's the first thing.
You know, there is something that I would do though, and hold on, let's just break there a second, guys, because I need to go to the bathroom.
Me too,
One
man.
Okay. Right. So yeah, the Atari 2600. I would pick up, but I have a slight issue with it in that, to me, all it is really is a downgraded port version of the arcade games.
Is it downgraded? What? Sorry.
Port of arcade.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're all downgraded. I think there's some 2600 games that are better than the arcade.
For the most part, though, the Mario Brothers is a classic example.
Yes.
And also Donkey Kong. What's the other? Pitfall?
Yeah.
All of those are done better.
Pac-Man's probably the most notorious. I mean, that was god awful.
Yeah, and then you have games like E.T. that came out on it. The original games on it, fine. Not so much the arcade ports. What I'd like to have one day is buy an old arcade cab and convert it and have a MAME system running on it with X-Arcade joysticks.
That's what I want to do.
That would be fantastic, because if you can get an arcade cab for 10 quid and you get the wood for 20 quid and then the X-Arcade joysticks, put in an old PC and monitor, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
So yes, I would collect for 2600, but I would have to do it on the cheap. But I understand it is quite cheap these days for a 2600. Is that the case?
Yeah, I was looking. Even I think what I understand is, the six-figure hoodie thing. I expected them to be quite expensive, but when I was looking on eBay, they weren't too bad. They're not that badly priced, like.
Yeah, and games you can get for about £1 a pop, I believe.
It's just like 1983.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So you can get I don't want a Jaguar. Fuck off.
Hey, what's wrong with the Jaguar?
Well, I'm looking for a 2600 for a start.
You know, I got a really good deal on my 2600 actually. I think I paid like 40 quid and I got a boxed Rainbow Junior, which is probably the ugliest and most flimsy looking out of all the 2600s they made, but it works. And I've got a bunch of boxed Atari games with it, with their manuals and stuff, so I was really pleased with that. I got a mint copy of like Ghostbusters and Pole Position still in its wrapper. I was really impressed.
Well, funnily enough, I've just found one here, boxed 2600 Rainbow Junior with 2 joysticks, Centurion and what's the other one there? Centurion and no, sorry, not Centurion. Centipede and Space Invaders and Quest for Quinatra Brew. So 40 quid.
Yeah, that's not too bad, like.
That's all right, and that's on a buy it now. That's not on a bid or anything. Whereas you can get a Woody for 30 quid delivered, free delivery, and all the rest of it, or a Vader for 30 quid or whatever.
Did you have one as a kid?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Same.
And a Specky as well.
Yay.
Dizzy, love Dizzy. So yeah, it's one of the ones that I've sort of considered with and played with, and almost thought about actually maybe I should get a 7800 because then I can get those games and play the 2600.
I know what you mean.
What was the joystick like on the 7800? Can anyone remember?
Is that like a weird? Is it like a? It's not the traditional Atari 26. Well, you know what I mean? The traditional iconic Atari joystick, is it?
No, it's not. It's. Go on, Tom.
No, it's just anything that had to be an upgrade from the 5200. That was the shitty one.
Yeah, absolutely. it is. Let me just find a picture of it so I can tell you. Hold on. Sorry, 7800. Marges. It's got a small joystick on it, a bit like the GameCube yellow joypad joystick on it. So one of those where you can a joystick but with a thumb indent on it. Like thumb in it.
Yeah, I know what you're...
And then it's got the 2 red buttons. And the red buttons have like a trough next to them, so your thumb can sit in there. If you know what I mean.
Aye.
It's a bit strange.
Oh my god, I just saw a picture of the 5200 one.
Oh yeah.
It was like a fucking phone pad on it.
Yeah, it's a bit... Well, it's the other one, ColecoVision, isn't it? It's a bit like...
Aye, that's bad.
I'll tell you what, you want to see the Intellivision controllers, now that's something.
Yeah. They were... I don't know why people put number pads on controllers. I'm thinking that.
Well, they would always give away these, like... I mean, I've got, like, an Intellivision and a Jaguar, and both the fucking joysticks are horrible, and they've got these, like, weird kind of plastic overlays that you slide over the number pads. I mean, with Doom on Jaguar, it kind of works, because it's just sort of, you know, you just quick select all your guns. So it does have its uses, but I mean, for the most part, what the fuck were they doing putting a numeric keypad on there? I guess it was just back at a time when they hadn't figured it out yet, but I mean, by the Jaguar, they didn't really have any fucking excuse, really.
Here's what I wanted to ask you, Monkey Spaz. How does the touchscreen on the Wii U work? Is it good?
It's good. It's perfectly fine. Obviously, it's not capacitive as such. But no, it's perfectly fine. It's a good... It's responsive. You don't have to push your finger through the screen or anything like that. But it's good, and obviously you've got the off-screen play on it as well, haven't you? So
yeah,
your missus can watch whatever women's program while you play Call of Duty on it.
And it does. How big is it? Sort of the size of an iPhone screen?
No, bigger. A lot bigger.
Really?
Aye. I'm trying to think if you've got. Let me see. Try to find something that's the same size.
Like a wallet?
Bigger.
If
you had a wallet and
DS?
A DS.
Yeah, the size of a full DS.
Unfolded.
No, like a full DS, like the length of a full DS.
Aye, probably, maybe even slightly bigger.
Wow.
Crumbs.
Maybe about the same. It's. I'm holding my fingers up in front of my face trying to show you, but it's a decent size screen, basically. But the quality of it as well is obviously the touch screen side of it is decent, and the picture quality and whatnot, it's good as well. I quite happily played Call of Duty on it and not on the telly. It's good. See, the hardware's there, it's good, but Nintendo, don't know what they're on about. They're doing good things with the Game Boy and whatever, or the 3DS, I should say. But the Wii U, that's another topic completely.
Yeah, it's one that I'm interested in, but you know, like the GameCube, I was interested in it, and I'll get it at a later date. I think the Wii U. I can see. Here's the thing with the Wii U. I can see it becoming the way of a Dreamcast, where it brings out some really good games, but it doesn't get nearly enough press. If you know what I mean.
Aye, they have Nintendo have bulged up massively with the advertising or the marketing campaign for it. There's been none, basically. There's a couple of adverts at initial launch, but I bet you if you asked somebody what a Wii U was out in the street, they would say it was a tablet for their Wii or something like that.
Yeah, it's I like the I've seen some gameplays on the Wii U of there's a Transformers Prime game on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks really fun, actually.
It's good. It's a good system.
What games did you have on it?
I had Zombie U.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Mario Brothers Wii U or whatever it was, and I had Black Ops 2.
How did Black Ops 2 work on it?
It was good. It was as comparable to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. It was good.
Interesting. I go on these spurts with FPS games where I play them for ages and then I don't, and I do and I don't.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones I keep coming back to, but I'm always terrible when I start playing them again then. And get little 5-year-old kids teabagging me and what have you on there.
And swearing at you and calling you rude names.
I fucked your mum last night. Oh yeah, she's older than your mum, so I'd be careful if I were you.
You just think to yourself, shit, if this was back in the Kingpin days on PC, I would have fucking...
Kingpin, I remember that.
Oh, mate, I was the daddy at Kingpin, mate. I was in plan and everything. Assassins UK, come on.
Retro clans.
Retro clans. Oh, Kingpin was funny, man. I remember Kingpin.
You can still get that on Steam, I think.
Can you?
Yeah, for like $6. Whether it'd be worth going back to now, I don't know. Maybe there's like a new shell with the multiplayer and stuff. So.
Who done the music for it? Was it not?
Like Ice Cube or someone.
Yeah, it was somebody.
Like,
Cypress Hill.
That was it. I think, was it?
Yeah, Cypress Hill, definitely.
I figured it was Cypress Hill or like Ghostface Killer or something like that.
Yeah, it was a cool game.
So, next up, and I don't know how much you guys have seen of this, is the Retron 5 has been announced.
Yes.
Is this like the multiplayer sort of all-in retro console thing?
It's insane.
But it looks really cool. It's got ports on there for the NES, the SNES, the Famicom, the Mega Drive, I want to say the Master System, but I'm not sure.
Not the Master System.
Not the Master System, but it has got the Mega Drive and Genesis.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's got a GBA, GB Color port as well, like the GameCube player.
It's insane.
It's got ports for all the original controllers, or you can use their wireless ones.
Yep.
So, it looks really nice.
At first I was a bit dubious about it, because there's obviously been problems with these sort of clone machines or copy machines in the past with compatibility, but they're saying that they'll have 100% compatibility with all systems, all cartridges.
That's right, yeah.
It looks interesting.
And it uses like an inbuilt software on there, so you can save states.
Yep.
Similar to emulation. And you can just switch between at any point or whatever. So if you can imagine in that thing at any time you could have a Famicom cart, a NES cart, a SNES cart, and a Mega Drive cart, and a Game Boy game. Just switch between these games like a mother fudger. It's heaven, surely. I mean, these guys have done past consoles, and they've been fairly successful. They did the Duo, which was the SNES and the NES, I believe, and they did the Retron 3, which had Mega Drive as well. Or Genesis, sorry, because it was only in the States. So yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in this one. It's the first sort of clone console which I've looked at properly.
I always wonder how they get away with these things, though, when releasing them commercially. Yeah.
So how do they get away with it?
I suppose that software and hardware are two separate things. And the Mega Drive was pretty open-ended in that Sega allowed other developers to bring out systems, or was it the Master System? One of the two, where they could bring out other systems as long as they didn't play bootleg games. Of course they did, so in Russia everyone was playing bloody Mario on the Genesis and so forth, like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I'm not sure how they get around it. I'm sure they've got lawsuits up the wazoo, but they keep on bringing them out. And the thing is, it's like the Pirate Bay, you know, if you stop one company, another company's just going to pop up and do it, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I guess it's the same sort of deal with like flash cards and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of a grey area, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where somebody's going to do it, you know, and you have to, I suppose Nintendo, Sega, whoever, have to ask themselves, well, come on, you know, we stopped developing for these ages ago. All it's really doing is actually keeping it alive, and it might actually boost sales. You know, somebody buys Mario 2 or Mario 3, they might find it fantastic and then buy the Mario Wii U or whatever.
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of those intellectual properties are now up on kind of the PSN store and Virtual Console and stuff like that, so I don't know.
Very true. So I guess that comes back to this point of, you know, how do you do it? How do you stop that kind of thing? Is it worth stopping that kind of thing?
Well, I guess not, because fuck Virtual Console.
Well, you've just spent your life savings on it, so.
It's true.
But yeah, no, I mean, Virtual Console doesn't interest me at all. I bought a couple of things off PSN.
I don't know, Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger definitely interested me, dude.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather play those on original?
Have you tried to buy an original copy of Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, I suppose, it comes back to the point it's 4 times more expensive to buy an original copy of Final Fantasy VII than it is to buy it on the PlayStation Network. So, it's difficult, I suppose.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not being funny, but the PS1 that I've got upstairs, it could break at any minute. The PlayStation 3, even if it breaks, if I get if I get Sony to repair it, then the download will still be there for me to get.
It's true.
It's still mine regardless.
You own the license.
That's right. So it's difficult, but the Retron 5, I'm definitely going to take a look at. Just because it's a space saver, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Would you if you had a SNES and there's Mega Drive, would you get this and get rid of them?
Never.
No, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd put them in storage, but I wouldn't get rid of them.
No.
Just because I'll tell you what I would do though. I did swap out my Master System 2 and my Mega Drive 2 for a Mega Drive 1 and Master System 1 any day of the week. Yeah, any day of the week. Just because you could get SCART leads and stuff like that for them, and also the Master System 1 has the card reader on it, and you can use the glasses and stuff like that on it. So yeah, it's just better model. Yeah. Similar to the fat and the thin PS3s.
I'd never trade out my Mega Drive 2, because how else am I supposed to play Snatcher on Mega CD? Because I sure as shit don't own was it a PCFX or whatever the hell it ran on? PC8801? I have no idea.
That's true. You could always get it on... Did it come out? It did come out on the Saturn, didn't it?
I'm not sure. Saturn games are quite hard to find. I mean, once you've bought all the cheap ones, you start to look for the gems. And
I have one Saturn game and I don't have a Saturn, and that's at Touring Cars, I think, which was on a 3 for £2 deal at cash generators or similar.
Oh, you're looking to get rid of that by any chance?
Maybe.
I've got Virtual Hide Light on Saturn. That is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. You've got to YouTube it.
I'll tell you one game that I'd love to play on the Dreamcast. Do you remember you had the fishing peripheral and you had Sega Bass Fishing?
Got it.
Damn, I want to play that so bad.
Yeah.
Just looks amazing.
That weird talking fish thing. I don't even know what it's called, but...
Oh, Billy Bass.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Who sings?
Anyone remember the song?
No.
No.
Sing it, Tom.
No, I was actually asking, does anyone remember the song? Fuck you, Billy Bass.
Okay, guys. So, last topic. I'm not going to do one topic. I was going to do movie video games, but I'll save that for next week. LucasArts.
I've got a lot to say about movie video games.
Yeah, I bet you have. That's why. Rest in peace, LucasArts.
You mean Dukas or Disney? Lucas, Disney.
Yeah, Disney have shut up shop on LucasArts. So all the games in development there, everything has gone the way of the dodo. That's it.
Bad.
It's done. Completely done. So all the Star Wars games that you've had, I picked up the other day actually at the car boot. Monkey Island.
Yay!
Nice.
The original LucasArts game. Fantastic game.
What is that? The original like floppy disk version? Or
something? No. The PS2 Monkey Island Adventure.
Nice.
I have got the Monkey Island on the anniversary edition where you can switch between HD and original graphics.
Yep. Nice.
which was a good HD remake, going back to the previous topic. But you can watch telly, by the way, love. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. That's fine. You heckle me enough in my YouTube videos, so you might as well heckle me in this.
Video games.
Again, switching on the PlayStation 3 for the media server. For Love Film? Love Film, see.
Thank you, Ken Kutaragi.
Exactly, thank you, Ken Kutaragi. So, yeah, I was really sad to hear about this. I don't know what... classic to me was Day of the Tentacle. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
Yeah, that's a great
I've
game.
seen it and I've heard of it. I've not played it as such.
It's just like a sequel to Maniac Mansion, right?
Yeah, it's point-and-click adventure.
Yeah.
It really... Get it, download it, pirate it, whatever. Play it. It is an astounding point-and-click game. It really is.
Get Scum VM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so much fun. Just great stuff. And I'm really, really sad that Monkey Island it was on the Amiga, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I played Monkey Island 2, I think, on the Amiga.
Yep.
And I mean, what a classic game. And of course, all the Star Wars games, and all the other stuff, all the Indiana Jones stuff, all that kind of crap.
What was that really great Indiana Jones point and click? I can never remember the name of it.
Fate of Atlantis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Just really, really sad when a great studio like that goes down the pan. Particularly because it didn't need to in this instance.
Did they not just recently acquire it and then just, shut it?
Disney have decided to buy everything in their mother.
Yeah.
So they've bought... They'll buy Nintendo soon, hopefully. So they bought...
Mario and Mickey's Big Adventure. Oh, God.
A Disney console, imagine that.
Well, the Disney games, to be fair, are always really
I know, they are good.
The tie-ins, Kingdom Hearts is a perfect example of a great Disney tie-in game.
The first one, yeah. The second one,
They bought Lucasfilm and LucasArts. So the new Star Wars films are coming out because of Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently directed by J.J. Abrams.
Indeed, so high hopes. And then what else was it they bought? They bought out another big franchise recently as well. Huge, huge franchise. Hold on, I'll find out. Let's have a quick look.
People will be screaming at us.
Yeah, that's right. Disney.
All three of them.
This is going to be big. This is going to be big, man. I don't know. The Walt Disney Company. Wikipedia, you are my friend. Lucasfilm. Marvel. Of course, Marvel.
Did they buy Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, it depends what you do with it, but...
And Pixar.
Jesus, man. They're just buying everything, like you said.
Yeah. So, that's why the Avengers did so well, because it had Disney behind it and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And obviously it's going to be huge stuff. They've got massive, massive plans for stuff like that. So, yeah, expect Captain America to be beating up Goofy.
Oh, that was fun.
And, yeah, expect to... Well, I mean, the thing is, I went to Disney World Paris when I was 13 with Longsand School Tom.
Oh, yeah.
And even then they had Star Wars tie-in stuff. They've always been very close. They had Star Tours there, and Mickey Mouse was dressed up as a Jedi and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's...
The main thing is, for me, as long as they do something good with the Star Wars films, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but what happens with the Star Wars games?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what, while we're mourning the loss of classic developers, I want to eulogise Psygnosis. Stunned silence. they made a ton of games, but the most notable ones that I can remember, there was a game on the Amiga called Walker, where you were like this kind of Ed 209 style droid just kind of blasting the shit out of these really tiny sprites. It was really fun. Formula 1 on the PlayStation as well.
Put the mouse and the joystick at the same time, didn't you?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You also had Formula 1 on PlayStation. Discworld, the original Discworld.
Yep.
Microcosm.
Really?
Yeah.
They did the original Discworld.
Yeah,
Blimey.
They were the publisher anyway. They were the publisher for it. It was actually developed by a company called Teeny Weeny Games. What else did they do? They also did G-Police.
Classic, huh?
G-Police was very good.
Barbarian. And a game called Sentient as well on the PlayStation. It was a good game.
Did they do Shadow of the Beast?
Did they do... just scrolling now, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure if they did Shadow of the Beast, but they did do Overboard. Anybody remember that game? So yeah, I don't know, yeah. Oh yeah, Roll Cage as well. So I was...
Shadow of the Beast was done by Reflections.
Oh yeah, no, it was published by Psygnosis, as was Lemmings.
Yeah, classic.
So yeah,
Psygnosis.
and Colony
Some of the
was, man.
Some of the stuff I've sent you, Monkey Spaz, is Psygnosis.
Cool. Awesome.
You'll be glad to know some of the bits and bobs. Yeah, I guess that's about it from all of us, actually. Thank you guys very much for joining me on this very first one.
Kind of a sad note to end on.
It is a sad note to end on. Let's think of something happy coming up in gaming.
Movie video games.
Sorry?
Movie video games. You get to talk about Kylie and Jean-Claude.
No, I wouldn't do that. I was... Yeah, never mind that. The Mario Brothers. Oh, Dennis.
Monkey!
There is always good things in the world of video games. And the great thing about video games, of course, is that you get to talk with your friends about them, which is what tonight has been all about. So, on that rather happy note, thank you very much, guys. And this will be up on Wednesday.
Cool.
Ooh.
So I will. Yes, I will do a little. I'll create the channel and send you both a link to it, and then if you could spam the piss out of it, put it up there, and hopefully we'll do one. Let's say 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, give me a shot.
Yep, we'll do. And thanks for listening, everybody out there who's listening to us ramble on for nearly the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
And sorry it was so long.
It's been a long episode.
Good
It's been a
time.
long We'll keep it down for the next one.
With that minus piss breaks.
Minus piss breaks. But that will be edited out, so thanks, Tom. And yeah, thanks very much.
Cool.
And yeah, see you later, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Peace out.
This is the Netro Renaissance podcast.
Number 1.
Number 1. Thank you
Boom.
very much.
See ya.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys.